And I'm going to pass over the opener to my good friend Shane Darwin, who's actually officially going to commentate this weekend. He's going to be my partner right next to me with not just special comments, play-by-play. You're right in the thick of it this week, Shane. So why don't you do the greeting tonight?
Gee whiz, well, welcome everyone to On the Grill. This is episode 6 or 7, but we're heading into round 8, and you've caught me well off guard there, Corey. I wasn't expecting the straight to the welcome, but good to see everyone, and we hope you're keeping out the cold wherever you are. It's certainly been a pretty fresh week up here in Newcastle. I'm assuming it's the same down the coast, Corey. You had the heater on this week?
Yeah, mate, I have. Look, I've even got my West Coast Eagles premiers in 2018, 1992, 2018, just a short 7 years ago. So they're not looking like winning another game anytime soon. So
mate, as a Kangaroo
supporter, this isn't keeping me warm. Yeah, well, it's not keeping me warm, I can assure you. It's getting me ridiculed, that's for sure. Mate, you're a natural. That was perfect. Perfect intro.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome to yourself. We're hoping Ash Borg may join us throughout the course of this broadcast as well. He is a very busy man on his way down to Sydney. He's got some more calling down in Sydney again this weekend, so we will get him back in a couple of weeks, which we're looking forward to, and we hope to see him.
We get him back in a couple of weeks, do we?
I think it is. I can't remember how many weeks, back in a couple of weeks. He's not too far off. Well, it's been a bit of a stop-start period, hasn't it, Trop? We've been playing footy, then we've been rained off, then we came back for a week. We had a great day there a couple of weeks ago at Number One Sports Ground. I really enjoyed our coverage there of those Killarney Vale City games. They were fantastic. And then we had another week off, and I think we're struggling to get a little bit of a rhythm happening. But this is it. I think from now on in, we're cruising through. So the rest of the season, I think it's week after week.
I hope so, Shane. I've got to tell you, if this is how I feel from week to week, like I feel a bit flat and lethargic, so I'm going to have a heap of red cordial tonight to get myself up and about for tomorrow. But we'll get that, no doubt, because match of the round, match day is always exciting. But I can only imagine how hard it is for players if they're getting stop-start get starts to the year. Like Terry Vivoka in particular have had. I think what with this game? I know they had the catch-up game during the week, which we'll talk about soon. But up until that game, I think they'd only had 3 games or something heading into round 8, and that's tough. I don't know how the players go with it. The ones who play reps probably got a little bit more of a flow on because they got a game in between there. But between the start of the year, a couple of games in Easter, then all these, and then the washout round, and then a bye round. Mate, it is hard to get some flow on and some rhythm. So I tell you what, I wonder how the players are going with it. I'd like to have a chat with a few of them and see what they think about it, because it is tough.
And some teams seem to be better after a break, and other teams need that momentum, don't they? So I think depending on what type of team you are, it's probably going to be either a good or a bad situation. And maybe if you're covering for a few injuries, that extra week helps guys get rested. If you're in good form, I suppose you don't want to stop the good form. So it's always going to favour some and service to the others.
Well, good thing for the Cup, no more buys. So they won't have to worry about that for the rest of the year, which is a nice thing. Nor will we.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that we have buys.
That's it. Now, it has been a couple of weeks since the game. We thought we'd probably skip over a fortnight ago review, because that is almost old news now. And then obviously from next Friday onwards, we'll be getting into our usual routine of last game and this game or whatever else. We'll probably, we'll go through the ladders first and have a quick look at where things are sitting, sort of after round 7. Then we'll do a quick review of a game that happened on Tuesday night, which was a little bit
Can I just say this though, Shay? I just before we go too far into it, what isn't old news about 2 weeks ago was Newcastle City's goal celebrations. The goal sellies were live and well. And look, I've been promising to put a video package together all for the last fortnight, but it's just been chaos around here, so I haven't done that. But they will come out. But I counted no less than 5 goal celebrations of a certain spectacle that are definitely worth going out to a broader audience, and we're gonna get a video package before too long, because I think Newcastle City could be Australia's greatest goal celebrating club by a mile. So some of the stuff that they pulled out, the antics they pulled out 2 weeks ago against Killarney Vale, were just superb, weren't they?
Yeah,
Sublime.
They were outstanding. And you spoke to Maxi Quinlan at halftime of the women's game, and he said, "Listen, keep an eye on me, because I'll do something for you." And he did. We had Sheriff Footy with the 6 shooters. We had the Harley Crawfordson. We
had mate, how good were they? How much are they out? Back in the holster. Oh, I think the reverse, like shoot to the sky was my favourite one. And then the Boss Hog revving up, brilliant.
Yeah, no, they and the
some brilliant stuff.
We get to see them again tomorrow too, Trop. So maybe we'll see some more of those celebrations. They've looked after us there, and they've really set the standard for what we want from coverage teams this year. So keep that on notice.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to see that, and the girls too. I'm going to shout out the girls because they've been a little lackluster with their goal celebrations. So let's hope we see some of the women's team getting into it as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see a couple of little routines come out tomorrow. So we haven't seen Cardiff for a little while, so it's going to be good to see those two sides come up, and hopefully Cardiff are all right for the break too.
Yeah, 100%. I suppose speaking of Cardiff and where things are at from a point of view of ladders and whatever else, why don't we have a bit of a look at the women's table now and just see how that sits, because the game tomorrow is going to be a clash of the top of the table. We've got Newcastle City up against the Cardiff Hawks. Now, Cardiff lost their very first game of the year against Killarney Vale, but since then they've been undefeated, and Newcastle City sit at top of that table also undefeated. So this promises to be a real cracker of a game. I don't want to get too much into the game review just yet, but those two teams have set the standard all year, and it's going to be interesting to see where they end up.
Yeah, Cardiff definitely on the improve. There's no doubt about that. But Newcastle City, without doubt, benchmark setting so far this year. So, going to be a cracker for the women's game tomorrow.
We talk about that top three and how those top three are a tier above everyone else. But if you look at that ladder up on there's a cheeky little Terrigal Avoca snuck in there in third position. So you mentioned there some of the evenness of the buys, and we've had Terrigal Avoca only playing the 3 games. So on match ratio, they're sitting slightly above Killarney Vale. Killarney Vale have played, as we let Ashley Borg into the
twice as many games. Is that right?
Yeah, Killarney Vale played twice as many games, and they've played Cardiff.
Wow.
And they've played Newcastle City twice. So it's a little bit of an odd statistic that Killarney Vale find themselves in 4th spot in the women's, which we sort of don't normally expect. And Terrigal Avoca sit up there in 3rd, but it's just the way the draws worked out.
Is it safe to say that is not anything to go by just yet?
It is pretty safe to say that, yeah. As the season goes on, I think that'll even itself out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And a very warm welcome, Ashley Borg. Good evening.
Good evening,
who's that?
fellas.
Who's the new guy?
How are you, boys? Just the ring in.
Hey, Ash, how are you?
From Mascot at the Marathon Suites, my friends.
Is that where you are?
Yeah, ready to do a AFL Sydney Pride round at Henson Park tomorrow.
Very nice. Who are you covering?
Yeah, 4 games, all Newtown. The Newtown Breakaways are the host club. They're the AFL New South Wales is, I believe, only registered LGBTQ club in Sydney. So it's quite a unique club. They're very diverse, and looking forward to the day tomorrow. To be quite honest, it was a special day.
What does that involve, Ash?
Basically, it's just Pride round.
Right.
Yeah, just they label it Pride round. It's a huge day. There'll be, they're estimating at least 1,000, and should be a big day for the club in general.
Wow.
Yeah, it should be good.
And where's that happening?
Henson Park in Marrickville.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay.
Yeah. How good this ladder intrigues me greatly. I only caught the end of what you guys were saying, but like you said, Killarney Vale are they've played the 2 top sides twice from memory, and
they have. They played Cardiff twice and City twice, so they've had 4 of their 6 games against the top. The other 2 premiership contenders.
Yeah, they shouldn't sit in 4th for too long, I'd imagine.
There's a massive disparity with the number of games played from one team to the next. As you look, Terrigal Avoca once again are off to a rough start with stop-start footy, and 3 games. We look down and see, I think the rest have played roughly 4, but Killarney Vale are out there on 6 and Cardiff 5.
Yeah, well,
crazy times, isn't it?
Killarney Vale will be not Killarney Vale. Terrigal Avoca will be playing this coming Tuesday in another one of those catch-up games. So they'll get their opportunity to go up against City this coming Tuesday. So that ladder could change quite a bit between now and next week. Loving seeing Warners Bay there with the 2 wins. Obviously, we've talked about how they're a much improved side. Fantastic for Amy Pittman and the girls there. The Interest Batter Bay probably a little bit disappointed with just the 1 win so far after the 4 games. They were sort of, I suppose, one of those clubs last year that really made a bit of a name for themselves. And Singleton, unfortunately, they wishing down the bottom there without a win today. I don't know, Ash. Can you see Singleton getting anything, from the remainder of the season?
Well, they do have. Well, they claim that they've got 2 registered girls that are playing for the Swans Academy, but I don't think Ali Nayland actually plays for Singleton. She's registered for Cardiff before she got picked for the Swans, but that was a couple of years ago and a knee injury ago. So Molly Thomas, and if Ali Nayland comes back, they're actually going to have 2 players of really top class. Ali Nayland just got picked the other day for the All-Stars against the Australian under-19s, which is a huge effort. And Molly, you saw Molly last year. She can run all day and kick a long ball. So they've got a couple of players. If they both come back, that'll definitely improve the team. Will it be enough to get them to beat sides like Terrigal and Killarney Vale or Warners Bay to sort of lift up in those upper echelons? Possibly. But I think the ladder's about right, with the exception of Killarney Vale and Terrigal.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Mm.
Yeah, so interesting start to the year there. Like I say, I think that ladder will probably